Now, did you say that your family was pretty religious?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
and very traditional as well. So
All right.
we had sort of that whole rural lifestyle, um, very isolated where we lived as well. So there wasn't, I didn't know, there was no one else. I didn't actually know what I was until I was in my 40s. I had
Oh,
never
wow.
encountered anyone else like me based on where I lived. So I had no other person to go, oh, they like me. I just didn't understand.
Yeah. Wow, that's a long time to go, isn't it?
It's a
So,
long time to be lost in the forest.
oh, I'll bet.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that you had included in the application to join the podcast was you wanted to talk a little bit about what it was like for sensitive people and why so many people with sensitivities like this tend to want to be alone a lot of the
Mm,
time. Can you speak to that a little bit?
I will. Sometimes I think that we're sensitive and we don't know that we are. We just know that we don't maybe like people. We don't like being around them. They kind of annoy us, but we don't understand why. We just think it's on I'm going to say like a superficial level. But really, what I have experienced, and I see it time and time again, even when I teach and guide people, is that the physiological aspect of what happens when we feel energy is occurring and people just don't realize. So when we come close to someone and our because our electrons are coming out of our body. I'm kind of sciencey. That's who I am. So I'm not that woo-woo kind of person. So when that is coming out of our body and they're vibrating, they're interacting with other people's electrons. And if we're resonating at the same frequency, we're going to like them, even though we may not know why. And conversely, if we meet someone and we don't like them and they haven't even opened their mouth, but we still don't like them, it's because they're at a different frequency to us, and that the electrons are vibrating at different levels, so yours and theirs. And so we don't understand that this is what's happening. We don't understand that this is what's happening on that energetic level. We just know we don't like people. They drive us crazy. But it is the fact that your frequency and interacting with other people they're just at a different level to you. And so because we can't put words around it and we don't actually understand and we don't have practices to allow us to cope with interacting with people that don't resonate the same as us, we pull back and we stay by ourselves because it's just easier. And as sensitive people, this happens more for us. So we pick up on it more. If we go, say, for example, sometimes we might go to a mall or a large party, and it can be really overwhelming. It's like, oh, I just need to get my shopping and go. Because without us realizing, we're going into that mall, into that shopping center, we're overwhelmed by the energy of everyone else that they're emitting. And it's like, I just need to do what I need to do and go home because there I just have to feel my own energy. I'm not exposed to everyone else. And so therefore I can just cope with that.
I think you've just told the story of everyone that this podcast is for. You've just articulated it beautifully. It's like, yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. It's like being in a public place is really, really difficult and it feels confusing a lot of the time. And yeah, the sensitivities, the energy is just really hard to navigate when it's more than one person in the room. It's really tricky.
It is. And that's why it's nice to have the opportunity to share with everyone, one, what's happening and why we feel the way we do, and two, how we can still have meetings that we need to have, still go to large gatherings, and to be able to maneuver through that a little bit easier.